هلو أهل السنة والجماعة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. This here is for Erdogan. I got an advice for you. You're talking about, give me a second, I want to remove some bugs from my laptop. So, I know, I'm got some Turk in me, like Turk to us right now, partly Arab, from the Arabs and then from the Turks and white, and what not, right? I'm from Homs, an Arab city, right? I love my Turkic side, and when I was in Istanbul, even though it was a dysfunctional trip, I think you know the details, right? Still, I felt at home. There was one time when I was walking on the sidewalk, coming back from Masjid Sultan Salim, right? And there was this man, a Muslim sheikh, right? شيخ يعني لابس لفي وعباءة أو كذا وغيره. ونظر إلي وابتسم. يعني هو جاي back, he was coming opposite my direction, right? And then he came and he gave me that smile. That smile was from his heart, man. That man was from his heart. He was a Turk, right? Turkey. And I smiled back. And there was that connection of, there was that connection. And I prayed Salat al-Jum'ah in Masjid Murad Basha بأكسراي. I never felt like that before for a long time, as if I was home, right? And that gave me a reassurance that Turkey, right, ما زالت بخير, in spite of your nose and whoever it is. But nonetheless, that's the Turkish intelligence, but bugging me, you better tell him not. So back to serious side. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين. And ولولاهم يا أردوغان، لولا هدول وجماعتهم، كنا هلا نحن الأتراك بدو نوماد بآسيا عم نقتل بعضنا وكذا وكذا، لكن اجوا علمونا هدول أسيادنا وأهالينا وإخواتنا ودمنا هون، يعني الأقل مختلط معهم، وأنا فخور بهالشيء هذا. فالمهم so you're talking about full accession to a European Union. Take my advice, it's not going to happen. It will not happen. Not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen. I don't see it on the horizon. And if you ask the reasons for that, I can explain to you the reasons. If supposedly you have full accession, right, to the European Union, and then suddenly a Turkish citizen can acquire a Euro passport, EU passport, right? What do you think is going to happen? 100 million Turks, right, are going to invade Europe. They're going to just get passport, then move to Europe. And what do you think is going to happen there? Isn't that what Putin is trying to do, and they're resisting him and they're afraid of him? He wants to make, and his Dugin, right, and Putin are on the record about what they want to do in Europe. That Anglo-Saxon are not valid race, and they want to change it into Eurasia, which you are and I am, right? So if they couldn't agree to that, and if they're wary of that, right, what do you think they're thinking about? They're thinking about Turkey full accession to European Union. Just think about it. It doesn't work this way, man. I hate this. One of these days, I'm gonna get those Turk intelligence to scan my laptop and see if there's anything bad in there. I think Putin has something there. So anyways, so case in point is very simple. They're not going to agree to that. Not now, not ever. If I remember correctly, Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, right? Is that how his name is? what did he say? He said, this is a Christian club, right? It's not going to happen. You're trying to leverage something that is real and so on and so forth to get accession into Europe. Europe can easily deny you that, and they will, and they have, and they will. You're not going to get full accession to Europe. Now, like I said, the analogy, if you ask, is because of what Dugin declared, and obviously their intelligence and their thinker, you know, like their thinkers, they know what Putin is after, what Putin is up to, right? It's very simple. There's no question about it. These guys, and I actually support them in such denial. Why? Because if Northwestern Europe become Eurasia, right, we humans lose diversity. I mean, there's already so few of those Anglo-Saxons, the Germanics and Scandinavians in particular, around, you know, like suddenly, you know, like they open up to Turkey and they're no longer what they used to be, and suddenly say, and that's not going to happen. Putin arrives at their country and he's going to slaughter and whatever it is and change them, Erdogan, into Eurasia. So it's not going to happen. Take that off your mind, no matter what. But here's a suggestion for you, and I recommended that to you, right? Focus on Crimea. I think you have enough leverage with Europe and its security, right? And its reconstruction, and especially now in the nascent military advancement of Turkey. You can have something there. So with you and Europe, right, can join lightly, right, at least on security, blah, 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 blah. And I think, and I believe, and I know, they will support you on Crimea. Crimea is a better deal for you. Not for you, for Turks, you know. But now you're at the helm, so I have no choice but to talk to monkeys, you know, like so. So that's what I'm saying, Rajab. Focus on Crimea. That is very possible. If European Union, the Europeans, see that you can provide some security and stabilization of the situation, I think they will support you on Crimea, right? Now, that is said, you may ask, well, you know, Zelensky and Putin, and above them Netanyahu. Yeah, I saw your picture in King David, you monkey, right? You Erdogan. But that's not our subject. Well, it's very simple. I think if there is really big time stabilization with you or Turkey being, you know, like a barrier here against Europe or against Putin for Europe, I think Zelensky with some buyouts, right? And the buyouts could be cash. You know, go beat those guys with like those big abaya, you know, that you can use as a mazalla or paratroopers parachute, right? My Arabs, right? Right? I think they will join in, right? In some cash for both, actually, for Putin and for Zelensky, right? And then you can present yourself as a military provider, as a reconstruction expertise, and so on. Now, I am against, but that's not over. Give me a second. Listen to this till the end. Why would I disagree with Turkey joining Europe, full accession into Europe? Number one, it's going to collapse as a country. Your expertise, the expertise of Turkey are going to leave, right there and then, right? And and the country is going to lose a lot of population and skill sets, and two, you know, the first time I took notice of this was in the early 80s. I was young, you know what, maybe 20, maybe 21, I don't know, and I had one of those big old cars, Monte Carlo with big front, right? And suddenly one of our friends found two friends from Turkey, right? From Istanbul. I don't want to say their names, you know, nice and on and right? And one of them said something that really attracted my attention. He said, I asked him, where are you from? He said, Istanbul, right? Europe side of Turkey, right? And I'm like, why is he saying that? You know, Erdogan, that's inferiority complex. What do you see in there, man? I mean, I lived in the West for 45 years now, right? Well, almost 44, 42 years, right? 45 minus a couple of years here and there, and a couple of bad weeks in Turkey. I got robbed, if you know about that. And so somebody entered my hotel room. You know. Anyways, To me, it sounds like you don't know what's going on, or Turks do not know. People here in America and the Anglo-Saxons in general, they suffer from melancholy and loneliness and the breakdown of the family and ethics, and that's not getting corrected. You know, the media and those unseen forces are sending these people down further still. It's not life as a, excuse me, fasting for individuals as well as families. It's just not good anymore. These guys, I mean, yeah, nice roads, nice buildings, nice cars, you know, nice clothes like this, right? This is the first time I wear this. What do you think, Erdogan? I think it's beautiful, right? Let's see. I paid $20 for it. It's cheap. Give me a second here. I hate those. Right? So what's wrong with you and this inferiority complex about Europe, right? Man, you know, the Turks, and like I said, part of me is Turk, right? Being from Homs, and I know, you know, like I know. You know, we're proud people, you know, we Arabs, and I'm a mix, you know, right? The Arab father and Turkic side from mother side. You know, like we're proud of what we are. You know, Europeans are good and all, and you know, Germanics and Scandinavians, but we have what it takes, man. I mean, why are you so like suddenly you turn from very proud people? You know, the Turkic people are spread from half of China all the way to Crimea, right, and much of Russia, right? Why are you so like so keen on Europe and whatnot? Just forget it, man. Build what you have, right? So that's one point. You know, I'm really disappointed. You know, I wouldn't say so myself. You know, if I was there, I wouldn't say Europe side of Turkey. That is Turkey, and that's that. And hopefully, I break Crimea. And if you keep trying and work out things, that may happen. Like I said, Europe may support you on Crimea for exchange of security. That is against Russia, right? Now, here's something for you, Erdogan. I think you got your priorities mixed up. You have alliance, you're in bed, right? You know, or let's say Hammam Turkey, Persian or Turkish bath, right? In the same pool. I don't know what you're doing, but you and Mebs, Muhammad ibn Salman, and Mebs ibn Zayed, and the Ayatollahs, and Putin are like, here they call them Russian baths, but they're Turkish baths, we know, right? You're with them, but your priorities are mixed up. Let me explain to you something about Russia. If Russia and Turkey go into war, you know, like they get engaged into war, Turkey will win against Russia so decisively and in a very short time. No. I guarantee it, right? Russia is destroyed and no longer the same. And now this guy Putin refusing ceasefires and whatnot, and he's becoming a liability on his backers. Here's what happens, right? He was counting on Trump. You know, the Trump card? They call it the Trump card. Turned out to be hollow. Not one day or anything else. In fact, there are more problems with Trump for Putin. But he's dumb idiot. He doesn't realize his options. Not that I care. F him, right? For what he did to my country in Syria, to my Sunnis, right? Wait, stay online, right? So he's no longer a viable partner. Let's put it this way. The guy's country is destroyed. Sure, you know, the cities are still up and so on, but economically, militarily, you name it. I mean, if Ukraine can stop him, Turkey can most certainly defeat him, right? So that's not your viable partner anymore. Your partners are, let's not talk about the Arabs, right? Because there it's more than partners, right? Is your future is with Europeans, not with Russians, right? And that said, you better rearrange your cards. You know, his trump card he was counting on turned out to be hollow, right? Hollow. Basically, he just threw it down. We say when we used to play cards in Homs, right? You know, that card, you know, it got burned, right? His trump card, that's all he has. He has the trump card. Well, he has Netanyahu behind him, right? But then what is Netanyahu, right? Even though he's the controller up, like the strategy maker and so on and so forth. But now, what happened to him in Gaza and in Russia and here and there, and now Trump turned out to be like hollow. It's like it's an echo of an empty drum, right? The guy is just weird. I don't know why they put him as a president, anyways. He and his Musk, like Musk, right? So, anyways, yours truly is 63, like in May, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin. So, at any rate, Trump is no longer a viable option. Nothing he can do anymore, nor is Iran. I'm not saying, like completely go against them out in the open, but they're no longer your support base. Now your alliance with Europe is an alliance, like I say, full accession. Now, I even don't like that, right? Like I said, because Turkey may start collapsing, like if they gain real passports, they can just take off and go anywhere in the world. It'll be like something similar to Syria after all those Sunnis left, and they're the ones they were the economic engine, the scientific engine, the engineering, everything was the Sunnis. And now, guess what? It's empty. Now you get people who eat like tabbouleh and stuff like that. Left, along a rabbi called Abu Khalid al-Gulani. He's your friend, right? Damn you guys. Anyways, so that's where you need to go, right? Alliance, security, present tangible evidence and concrete steps to be in alliance with Europe and Ukraine, and then you can defend against Russia and who's trying to make Europe Anglo-Saxons Eurasians, right? Now, let me tell you something about Putin. He may not like what I'm saying. I know he's going to watch this. And you may not like what I'm saying, but it is true. What happened to Assad will happen to Putin eventually. You will see, right? You will see. This guy is on the verge of collapse. Yeah, he still gets support from China and Korea and Iran and the Gulf, those Gulf guys who wear parachutes for abaya. Right? I'm from Tai, Tai, like the tribe of Tai, right? So Al-Ta'i, yeah, Al-Ta'i, right? That Turkic place in Siberia called Al-Tai. Anyways, so that's your route. And if you still linger about full accession to Europe, it's waste of time. You're not going to get that, right? If you also, and like I say, Putin will probably sell for whatever, few dollars and so on and so forth. Now he refused the ceasefire. He thinks he's got something going. He doesn't have anything going. Ukraine is still able to fight and will fight, just think about it. Ukraine, Ukraine is not doing something wrong. They have no choice but to fight, right? So now nobody can force them, right? You think Trump is going to force them on surrender? They will not do that, right? They will not do that. This war, if Russia doesn't stop, right, and settle down or something of the sort, this war will go on for decades probably. So like I say, I think that's your focus, all right? And don't worry about anybody else. Right now, Russia or anybody else, they would not mess with Turkey. No, by Allah, he will not mess with Turkey. Turkey is a very powerful country, as it is. There you have it. So don't worry about full accession. It's not going to happen. But if you focus on Crimea, and then offer Ukraine rebuilding and support and some cash from those weirdos down in the Gulf, right? They will pay, I assure you, even on credit or something of the sort. Not on credit, like they will pay, or even with oil and stuff like that. So go that route, Erdogan, and I am hopeful about this Crimea. Crimea, I'm not like trying to. I am standing 100% with the Ukrainians, right? The Slava Ukraine, right? But if you look at Crimea, that's Turk, man. Like I told you, for us Arabs, Mongols, Tatars, and Turks are really the same, right? They're Turkey, right? They're Turkey Atrab, right? To us, they're all the same, right? I sit with them and they're all the same to me. The other day, I go to a store here, like Polish store, but they have like international, European and Russian and Ukrainian and so on. And there's this woman, right? And then suddenly she's a cashier, and suddenly she says, her name looked a little bit familiar, but not too familiar. She said, I am a Muslim. I'm from Uzbekistan. And I said, Assalamu alaikum. She said, Wa alaikum assalam. And subhanallah, every time I go there بمشي لحالي يعني بحاول اجي محل ما هي عم تشتغل. ليش؟ لأنه I suddenly you feel the family connection يعني كأنها عائلة بتقربني يعني. فبوقف السلام عليكم كيفك وكذا يا عميلة وهيك شيء، تقول لي الحمد لله هيك وكذا 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 يعني. شايف شلون؟ for us Arabs, you know, whatever the Mongols did, that's the old Mongols, similar to Abu Jahl and Abu Lahab and so on, and what they've done, right? But today's Turk, we are, right? Arabs and Turks are so freaking mixed up, and there's not much European in you guys. You're like Syria, you're like Arabs. You know, there's more Arabs in Turkey among the Turks in their blood makeup than there are Europeans, right? Similar to us in Syria. We're at least 60%, genetically speaking, we're at least 60% Arab, and then probably 35% Turkey. Maybe in Homs a little bit more than that. But hey, I mean, I know I'm not like your international expert or something like that on politics and stuff, but this is very obvious. Erdogan, Recep Tayyip, and you know what, I am hopeful about this Crimea going back to its original, where it belongs, you know, Tatar and Turkey, and, you know, listen to hear the prayer and go to the mosque just like I did in Istanbul to that Friday prayer and so on and so forth. Ukraine is our friend, man. I mean, it's not like, and in it there are Muslims, right? You know, from Crimea and here and there, and one of them was the Mufti, right? And I so loved to go and meet with him and so on. And he was fighting for Ukraine, and then he had La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah died here. And you find that in Russia as well. I am not against like Russian. I'm here. My speech and my gibberish, if you will, is against that Putin and his psychotic, deranged bunch in the Kremlin and here and there. You know, like the Medvedev and like what's his name? Lavrov, you know, Lavrov أو هيك شيء يعني من هالكلام هذا الفارغ كلياته. دول سكة يا زلمة هذول. شفت شو ساووا بسوريا هلا وشو عم يساووا بأوكرانيا، دمروا مدن وحرقوا مدن. أنا بدعي ربي إنك أنت يا أردوغان, you're not like them, you know, like in nature. But somehow I have a feeling you may be, right? So that's my 2 cents. Don't waste your time about full accession. You have things to offer Europe and Ukraine, including some cash and expertise and weapons, and you have a way of also protecting the borders, you know, security for Europe, and I think they will support you on Crimea. Like I said, Putin probably will settle for some money, and eventually he will wake up to the same fact as that of Bashar al-Assad. Remember, he and whoever it is, Netanyahu's, right, took him in, جابوه من الشام وحطوه هلا بموسكو. He is on the same path. He's got nothing left, really. I mean, he's fighting like deadly fight with what, million soldier, at least million soldier dead, just for him, just to get some symbolic win or something like that. His plans now, Europe know very well that his plan is really all Europe. He said it time and again. He just said it yesterday and the day before that he wants Ukraine to surrender. He wants Ukraine is not going to surrender, man. That's very obvious. They will fight, and they're resourceful, and they will fight, and they have good things on their side, right? Goodness on their side, right? But he also announced his intentions about the Baltics, about Poland, about even Germany, right? His henchmen, Soloviev and whatnot. He wants to burn Berlin, and about Sweden and here and there. Do you remember when he threatened Sweden and Finland from joining NATO, or he's going to invade or something? That's like the start of this is war of aggression against Ukraine. How can you stand with that dog from hell when he's burning city in Ukraine? You know, Ukraine, you may find it acceptable that he did what he did in Syria, right? Because they're Muslim Sunnis. Your Netanyahu doesn't like them. But how about those Ukrainians? They're Christian Orthodox, just like the Russians, right? Why is he doing that to them, right? It tells you the guy has absolutely no concept or understanding of peace or whatnot, right? You get the point. Reformulate your strategy. Don't waste your time about accession to Europe. It ain't gonna happen. I can tell you that now, right? But Crimea, with exchange of some money and security and technology and may happen, and abandon that Putin alliance, get out of that pool in the in the حمام تركي كان عندنا في واحد اسمه حمام الباشا بحمص وحمامات في حمامات تركيه. شايف شلون؟ لانه هذا بوتين هذا الكلب he's starting to shit in that pool, so you better get out of it. يا أردوغان الحمد لله على نعمة الإسلام. والله صلاة الجمعة بهداك مسجد مراد باشا، يمكن مراد باشا بظن مراد باشا بأكثر هيك جنب هوني في محطة ترين. I still remember. ما زلت أذكر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. أهل السنة والجماعة، وهاي أردوغان. أنا خذ نصيحتي، لا تضيع وقتك وعيد النظر وخليك أبضاي شجاع مثل العثمانيين والأتراك والعرب هذول الشجعان. Make your move. Don't worry about this Putin and whoever it is. And I have an opinion, I have a good idea that you will be supported by Europe. And you know what? If that comes, if you take Crimea, that may stabilize may be a stabilizing factor in the situation. And you even get support from Canada and here and there and there and there, because now everybody is bleeding on behalf of Putin, right? أهل السنة والجماعة. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.